Hello. Welcome back to the Bankshot Degen podcast, episode 21. We're doing a first round mock draft today. But first, we got some immediate Woj bombs that happened literally right as we're recording this. Biggest one being the Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle on a trade to send Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first round picks, a protected first round pick via the Bucks, and an unprotected pick swap and a second rounder. And those picks are a 2025, 2027, 2029, 2031 for unprotected, 2025 protected Milwaukee first, a 2028 unprotected pick swap, and a 2025 second round pick, and Mikal Bridges in a 2026 second round pick going to the Knicks. Denny, first reaction live right now. What the fuck, dude?
Huge trade, crazy trade for both sides. With OG opting out of his contract not too long ago, this makes more sense. This shows that the Knicks are in win now mode right now. Upgrading OG with now Mikal, and the Nets are going to be rebuilding, but they have a lot of firepower now to rebuild with Matt.
I cannot kid you not. I was sitting down doing my analysis for every single team's needs, and this is all I wrote for the Brooklyn Nets. I wrote, trade Mikal Bridges, that's it. No picks, no future, figure it the fuck out. That's all my notes were. And now that's probably going to change, but they still have 0 picks for this draft in 2024. But they have a load coming from a Mikal Bridges trade. And then on top of that, another Woj bomb that just happened a minute ago. Another massive deal. Brooklyn has a deal with Houston to return the Nets' 2026 first-round pick for 2027 Phoenix Suns first-round picks, or tell ESPN. Rockets also acquired 2025 rights swap to Houston/OKC first for 2025 Suns first-round pick. More details coming on picks deal from Adrian Wojnarowski, the Woj. Oh, more in the deal. That just happened. Houston acquires 2029 more favorable of Dallas and Phoenix first-round pick and acquires the rights to swap Houston first-round pick for less favorable Dallas first and Phoenix first per sources. What the fuck?
I can't keep track anymore.
Oh, my God, dude. Nets are...
They're dealing...
But they're going to be the most ass this next season.
No, it's going to be horrible.
And they're probably going to be just like the Detroit Pistons and end up having the 5th overall pick and not even the top 4 or whatever. Wow. Okay. We'll come back to more. Oh, hold up.
Yes.
The implications of Rockets landing the Suns picks. Houston wants to trade for Kevin Durant, and that becomes far easier if they can return the Suns pick that they gave up in the Durant deal to the Nets. Suns have said they're keeping Durant for now, but they could change the next season. For now, Houston has the picks to make the Suns whole again. The fuck is happening? Okay. Let's get back to what we can. If there's more Woj bombs, I will get the notifications.
Woj, man.
Welcome back to the Bankshot Degen podcast, where there's Woj bombs on Woj bombs on Woj bombs. You know, draft day is just around the corner. Tomorrow, Wednesday. Today is Tuesday, June 25th. Sorry, that's usually your job, Denny. I took it from you early.
We just got to throw it out there. That's all we got to do.
Right now.
I know. Let's be rolling, baby.
I am going crazy.
NBA
right
basketball never ends.
I will have my phone out looking at this Woj bombs going left and right. Okay. First, we made it past 20 episodes, and this is probably going to be our last episode for the season. So let's take a shot for our tradition. And we're going to take a shot every single goddamn time. Seattle Supersonics are back in this great association we like to call the NBA. Little crown apple for your day.
Bring him back. Hell of a season 1.
Woo! Okay, some other news since the last episode, which was last week. I know we just actually dropped the episode today. Sorry, a little busy. Went to Michigan for a bit. The boys, crown apple's hitting Denny a little bit. Sure, hitting me too. Some other news for the Thunder. Thunder sent Josh Giddey to the Chicago Bulls for Alex Caruso. That's it. That's nothing else. No pick, no picks, nothing. So that was something cool and insane. And then we also got, what else we had, Denny? I'm trying to remember.
We have a new head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, yeah, and he just had his presser today as well. JJ Redick is now the Los Angeles Lakers coach after being second picked behind the guy out of
Dan Hurley.
Presser was today. JJ said that LeBron and JJ did not talk about the job until after he signed the deal, which is kind of, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel better about that. I don't know. They just had that was breaking news today, apparently. So that was that. And interesting.
Kenny Atkinson. Where's he going?
Kenny Atkinson, assistant coach for the Warriors, is now the head coach of the Cavs. And also, Monty Williams has been fired from the Pistons. And the Pistons will continue to pay our boy, Monty, for the next 5 years. Even though he's fired. That sounds like the dream right there, not going to lie.
Another story.
Yeah.
Scotty B.
Scotty Barnes got a bag.
This guy got a
5
fucking bag.
years. Something like $440 million a year, something like that.
Let's see. It says
pretty close.
5-year rookie extension worth up to $270 million.
Sheesh.
It's going to be $225 over 5 and can reach $270 if he meets supermax criteria.
I think the part that blew my mind, they showed that his salary is twice as much as Kawhi's salary when he won the championship with Toronto.
That's crazy.
Scotty Barnes worth more than Kawhi Leonard, in your opinion?
We'll have to see for this Raptors team.
Yeah, no shit.
They got after what happened, or after how they played this past season. They got some things they need to figure out. But Scotty Barnes is going to be the face of this team. First time All-Star last year. Former Rookie of the Year. So let's see. He just got the bag, so he needs to go out there and play like it now. But good for Scotty B. So that was a cool another story. But I think that wraps up, Matt, kind of the news around the league. Charles Lee got first-time head coach for the Hornets.
Oh, yeah. I honestly don't
No idea who that is.
I think the funniest thing for like the JJ Redick being head coach, they show a graphic up on ESPN and says JJ Redick coaching experience, and it says 4th grade volunteer assistant basketball coach. Reminds me of that Shane Gillis bit about talking about his dad. He's like, yeah, my dad is a volunteer high school girls assistant volleyball coach or something like that.
Siakam got a bag, didn't he?
Oh, he might. No, I don't think he did yet, did he? I'm not sure if he has yet.
Oh, I don't think it's officially happened yet, but it looks like it's going to happen.
Okay.
4-year, $190 million.
Damn. You telling me Scotty B is making more than Pascal Siakam?
Fuck. Malik Monk got a 4-year deal with the Kings.
Deservingly so.
Yep. Nice.
Damn. All right.
Well, I think it's time, Matt. I think we gotta get into it.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. We are presenting our big board for this year's 2024 NBA draft. There is only one team not picking at all in this draft, and that is the man of the hour, the Brooklyn Nets. The men of the hour, I should say. They got a haul for the future, but they get 0 this entire draft.
And that's from the James Harden trade, too. So let's look at how well that team really worked out as well.
That has got to be the most disappointing thing ever. Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant. And the best they ever did was didn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals once. I think
they lost. They lost in Game 7 when KD had his foot on that 3. Yeah.
That was against the Bucks, right? That was 2021.
Yeah. And the number of games those guys played in 3-4 seasons. What was it like? They played 39 games together.
Right.
God, what a joke. Anyways, how do we want to set this up? Do we want to do we want to go over the team needs first, and then we'll say who we pick? Maybe a small explanation.
Yeah, sure, that works for me.
And then we'll just go on to the next one.
First up, we have the Atlanta Hawks. With their team needs go as follows, is what I wrote down for our team analysis. Position needs a center, point forward, or power forward best value. This is what I said for the Hawks. The Hawks need to make the decision on what their plans are with DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, and possibly even Clint Capella. Trade is expected, but not a guarantee either. Probably going to with the best French player on their board here, or trade back for Donovan Clingan because they've expressed a lot of interest in Clingan as well throughout this buzz. That being said, there's two big French guys there. You have Alexier Sarr and Alex Sarr, and then you have Zachir Rissachir, both from France. Sarr's more of a center. He's 7'1". And then you have Rissachir, which is a small forward. More so, only 6'9". Denny, who do you have them picking?
Just looking at team needs, I don't know too much about either of these players. They obviously are both very hyped up coming in this draft. So it'll be exciting to see these guys. But I think I'm going with Alex Sarr, and that's mainly just for team needs. Clint Capella is getting old. These guys need a guy down low that can, be a rim protector, produce some offense down there for those guys, grab some rebounds. And then the only thing, I don't know this other guy. What's his name?
Zachir Rissachir.
So Rissachir, looking at his,
I could be completely butchering that too. But.
Yeah, looking at his, stats right now, he's only 6'9" and playing the small forward. And I'm just thinking about Jalen Johnson right now after the season he had for the Hawks. Definitely had an up and coming year for the Hawks, and so I just think that Alex Sarr would just fit better on that team.
I did butcher that name. Is Zachir Rissachir.
I'm not even going to try, so I don't disrespect him.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to disrespect him probably because he's going to a poverty franchise either way. No. Alex Sarr is brother of current Thunder, not a very known player, but Olivier Sarr. He's taller and supposedly way better than him, obviously, being a top 2 pick here. You have Olivier Sarr, who barely plays minutes for the Thunder at all. Has been the two-way player on the OKC blue team. I have Atlanta going with Zachir Rissachir. I could be butchering that completely, but it sounds French, so fuck it. I have that because I think they stick with Clint Capella, and I think Rissachir can provide more versatility for them, not just playing a distinct spot. He can be small forward, he can be kind of a power forward as well. So I think he would be a great building block if they decide to move on from DeJounte or Trae Young. But if they keep both of them, that's why I think I like him better, because they keep all three of those guys, Clint Capella, DeJounte, and Trae. I think Rissachir can fit in that system really well with them and help them out. If they're gone, I think he's a good place to start building off of as well. So that's why I have Atlanta picking him.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I have him as my 2 going to the Wizards, so it's probably the most obvious 1 and 2, I would assume.
And for my team analysis for the Wizards, I think they need a point guard, a center / everything as well. They had also a really, really disappointing season. Wizards showed no signs of a future in sight. This is what I said. They need to decide who will be a part of their future now with older players like Tyus Jones and Marvin Bagley. Expect the Wizards to take the best player with some size, upside, near forward position, possibly one of the 2 top French players next to Koulibaly. So Bilal Koulibaly was already drafted by them last year. He was teammates with Wemby, and so I think that Koulibaly gets his other tall French guy that he used to play with is with Alex Sarr. I think it'll be perfect. Wizards still have a lot they need to do.
Yeah.
But they got
a lot to figure out.
They have some talent. I think Sarr would be perfect next to them. And if they keep Kyle Kuzma, I think that'll be good for Kyle Kuzma to play more of a power forward role as well. And then I think it'll be good for them. So,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I got going. All right, Houston,
with the 3rd pick, I went ahead and I selected Reed Shepherd. I think I think for Reed Shepherd, it would be a really nice role to come into and be able to learn from a vet like Fred VanVleet. He's a very effective spot up shooter who's developed a nice pick and roll game. He's got a high IQ. I think in that Rockets system, he could be he could stay as a one guard and really utilize that pick and roll. I kind of see him as someone as a Malcolm Brogdon, a high IQ player, playmaker, and he's got good defense. So I could see him excelling. Obviously, I think when he comes in, he would come off the bench, learning a lot from Fred VanVleet. But I think Fred being a smaller guard himself, I think he could learn a lot from him and really step into a role there alongside Jalen Green.
There you go. For the Rockets, I said they needed a point guard, center / and power forward. They have a really young team. They have one of the youngest teams in the NBA. I said Houston has one of the league's youngest teams, but still have a couple of missing pieces. Sengun, with having a major step up, look for Houston to add some help for him down low at center, or a true point guard where Dylan Brooks is not running the point. And Jalen Green and the Thompson twin can be reliable guards as well. And so for that, my second point, I had them taking Stephon Castle. The reason I haven't taken Stephon Castle is more so for the fact of I think he's a ready now player, and I think he can immediately go into that offense and be a really good floor manager. And he showed it perfectly in UConn. He had some really talented people there, obviously with Klingon and a few other guys, back-to-back championships. So he's
a bigger guard too.
He can
guard multiple positions,
exactly,
which is nice.
Yeah. What'd you say on him in your analysis of him?
Stephon Castle.
Yeah, I'm curious.
He's a great facilitator. 6'6" guard. He can guard, probably the 1 to 3 position. The only thing that he has to work on is his shooting, specifically his 3-point shot. He's a little inconsistent, but I think if he's able to go in there and be, like you said, a floor general, facilitate, maybe be able to develop more of a catch and shoot 3. I could see him, being like an RJ Barrett kind of getting downhill, finishing at the rim, being able to have a spot up shot, facilitate. I think he's going to be a good player. And like you said, I think he's going to be a ready now player as well. He's looking good.
Yeah, I think he'll be good. Not much. Yeah, that's all I got. And then going into San Antonio, you had Reed Shepherd going to Houston. I had Reed Shepherd going to San Antonio.
Yep. What needs does this? Let's look at their team needs.
Let's see. I said they needed a point guard, a shooting guard, and a center.
Yeah.
First year, Wemby looked promising, but it's time to build around him in order for him to excel. I said for the Spurs to add some help that is not Zach Collins at a true center, creating some separation from Wemby, or it needs some more guards to run the point. That's not Jeremy Sochan or Vassell. So I have them picking Reed Shepherd here. I think he's also just like Stephon Castle, but smaller, true point guard position. I think as much as I don't like Jeremy Sochan, I think he could be better with some guidance. And so I think Jeremy or Reed Shepherd would be good for that. Kind of being a true point guard for this team. He can create a lot more separation for Wemby and help that ball get moved around there, which is what they need, is get the ball moved around, because Wemby's usage percentage was so high. And because of that, I feel like his numbers in field goal efficiency and stuff like that fell off. So that's just talking about half the story of how good Wemby can be. So I really think a point guard here really helps them, and I think that point guard is going to be Reed Shepherd.
Like I said, Reed Shepherd's a high IQ player. I think, if they were to draft him, I think his pick and roll game would be really nice with Wemby.
You got him going to Houston, right?
Reed Shepherd? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen too many videos of Wemby wide open under the hoop, where he's wide open running the floor, and for some reason, whoever has the ball just does not see him. And I'm like, how do you not see this guy?
This Spurs team was atrocious.
Wide open.
I can only imagine how pissed off Pops was. I don't know how Pops is still the coach there.
I don't know. He didn't have a heart attack.
That's what
watching
I'm saying.
That team, man.
It's just so Jeremy Sochan is so goddamn over the place. It was a tough team to watch this year, other than Wemby, obviously. Yeah. I
agree with you that they need a guard. And I picked another smaller kind of true guard. I'm picking him a little high just because I'm a little bit biased about him. I've watched him since high school, and I just really enjoy watching him. But I picked Rob Dillingham. kind of a similar player to Reed Shepherd, smaller guard, really good 3-point shooter, really good playmaker, pick and roll guy. I think something with him is just, he's a smaller guard, and so he's really quick ball handling, a lot of acceleration. Kind of reminds me of like Kemba Walker almost, just with that size. And I really enjoy him. I think he could excel in that offense, both for if it would end up being Reed Shepherd or Rob Dillingham. Both of those guys would be in a great system to learn from Pop, and I think would excel in that system. But that's why I chose Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, and I chose Rob Dillingham for the next pick after that, actually, to Detroit. For Detroit, I said they need a point guard, a center, and a forward, and they could use all the help they can get. Said Pistons coming off a troubling year of NBA records, the one should not be proud of. Cade Cunningham needs help anywhere he can get it. A few different trades got the Pistons out of some trouble later in the season. For the Pistons to make a move on best available option here. I'm sure Thompson looks very promising in his rookie campaign when healthy as well. Expect more help down low or some guards to support Cade. And so I chose Robert Dillingham here.
Yep.
I think
help out Cade, man.
Yeah, just kind of like how Reed's going to help Wemby.
Yep.
Same kind of separation, help moving the ball. Kentucky's obviously is a Calipari prospect here, so you can't go wrong with any Kentucky prospect here. But Rob Dillingham, I think he's NBA ready, and in a shitty franchise, the Detroit Pistons, you're going to be starting almost immediately. So I think Rob Dillingham would be perfect there.
Yeah, they have a lot of, I'm not going to say random guards, but they're just not the best you could have. It's Cade, and then I think, Jaden Ivey. And besides that, I really don't know who else they have. And so I agree. I think they need a guard. You have Asar Thompson now. You have Jalen Duren down low. We've seen what he can do when he's healthy. He's putting up 20 and 15. It's insane. And so I also went with a guard. I went with Stephon Castle. We've talked about him, big body, big guard, can guard multiple positions. But I just think, regardless of who it is, I agree. The Pistons need some help at the guard position. I think there's promise in the front court, but Cade needs some help in that backcourt.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, moving on to Charlotte. You and I both had the same person here. I'm going to just read what I said for Charlotte real quick. They need a shooting guard, center, and a power forward. I said the Hornets went and got Brandon Miller last year, and he had a promising rookie year, making all rookie team honors. But with an injury-prone LaMelo Ball and trading away Rozier, Hayward, PJ, short-handed on a real shooter on the outside, Selehe Misic and Dre Mann from OKC trade provided decent roles in the backcourt when coming over, but they would be better depth pieces, not necessarily a starter. Shout out to my boy Trey Mann. Love him. I'm really glad he balled out. So he could be still fighting for a good roster spot there. But they need perimeter shooters. They need a lot of better defenders in general. Even if LaMelo Ball's healthy, I don't think they're a very good defensive team. I did choose Dalton Connect, and I don't think Dalton Connect is necessarily a great defensive piece, but he's a goddamn shooter for sure. So
fucking smoked us in round 2.
Yeah.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Dalton Connect, he was the SEC player of the year this year. He averaged 21
Tennessee Bowl,
5 boards, 2 assists. He shot 40% from 3. He's a 3-level scorer.
Easily the best transfer last year going to Tennessee.
It's insane. Yeah, he's got a whole offensive package that he excels. He's got a 3-pointer. He can pull up off the dribble, spot up. He can finish at the rim. Being a 6'6" guard, or forward, he's able to use his body when attacking the rim and everything. I could see him being kind of like a Bogdanovich.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, but I think Connect would do really well on the Hornets. If LaMelo can stay healthy, if their center, who I think has promise, he's just been hurt a lot, Mark Williams, can stay healthy. If Miles Bridges stays, they got Trey Mann. They got Vasilije Misic.
They got some depth.
They got some depth. Vasilije Misic played some good minutes for them.
Hey, I actually liked Vasilije coming off the bench. He reminded me of kind of like campaign back in the day in OKC.
Yeah.
Where like he comes in, he's like he knows how to run the floor. So I really liked him as like playing that true point guard position. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think they got some. I don't know. I just don't know where Charlotte's plan is going.
I don't know.
They have some good pieces, but I feel like they just need to eventually trade a lot of those young guys for a true veteran and then build around that veteran too. I don't know if LaMelo Ball is the answer. One, he hasn't been healthy to know for sure.
Yeah.
But you just have a bunch of young guys here that who have potential. But I feel like they have potential. None of them as stars, though. I don't think they have a real star. And LaMelo Ball is the closest thing they have to that, and I don't think
he's too injury prone. He doesn't have enough time on the floor, and so
yeah,
it's tough.
So it's tough. But I think Dalton Connect will be a great addition.
I think so too.
I would hate to see his talents wasted there. But
yeah, he's a bucket, so yeah, he'll help out wherever he goes.
I wish he was on the Thunder, but we don't need him. All right, moving on. San Antonio has their second pick in this draft already, and they got it from Toronto, number 8 overall. Who do you got?
Oh wait, are we on Portland first?
Oh shit, my bad. Portland.
We're good. No, we good. We
Portland.
Good. Who's Portland? What does Portland need?
Where's
Portland?
I wrote a good piece for Portland here. I said they needed a center and a small forward. And so the first year under Dameless went sort of as expected, ? Lots of trades and new faces to the team that include DeAndre Ayton, who dropped off this year, and lottery pick Scoot Henderson. The team shows flashes of great talent with Shaedon Sharpe and Anthony Simmons, along with vet Jeremy Grant at the point forward / small forward look. Blazers have 4 picks, including 2 lottery, and I imagine them getting more help down low for Ayton and much needed defenses to add an offensive heavy team. So, with that, I think we're both. This guy could easily go a lot sooner.
I could see him going sooner too.
He's so good.
Yeah.
We watched him in the national championship. Donovan Clingan. Man, dude, I know he can go a lot sooner, but I really hope he slides. I want Clingan so bad on the Thunder. So bad.
Elite rim protector, elite rebounder.
But there's just no way he moves past 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, he averaged 2.5 blocks, 13.7 boards.
Would be perfect next to Chet Holmgren.
Yeah. He elevates in the pick and roll game. He's a great player. And so
yeah, he is.
I have him, he kind of reminds me of like a Zubac or a Poeltl.
Boydle.
But I also have him going to the Blazers. I agree with what you said. They got Shaedon Sharpe, Simons, Jeremy Grant has been playing well.
I love a lot of people on their teams. They just it's hard for them to one stay healthy.
Yep.
DeAndre Ayton needs to figure the fuck out. I think DeAndre Ayton literally missed the start of a game this year because he was in traffic in Portland or something like that.
He missed a game because he couldn't get out of his driveway because of the ice. Yeah, because of the ice. So he missed a game.
Figure it out.
Icy driveway.
We get worse ice up here in Seattle.
Yeah,
calm down.
No, that was hilarious.
Like in Arizona, fuck. And anyways, what I do think about this is that they do go out there and get Donovan Clingan. I think that will push Ayton because I think that'll be a little bit threatening to his job down there. And
I agree.
And I think that'll push him and drive him back to being more competitive,
which
I think is needed. But either way, even if he plays with Clingan down there, Clingan's absolute starting center already. He is amazing. Who'd you say your comparison was to him?
Clingan. It was, I kind of saw like maybe like a Zubac or a Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah. Yeah, both great options.
Yeah.
So he's
gonna be a great fit. He's gonna be
no matter where he
effective
goes.
Wherever he goes. Yeah.
I kind of hope he ends up in Portland though. I think that'd be amazing to have that duo of those two down low and then have Anthony Scoot Henderson figures it out a little bit better this year after having a shaky rookie season. Dude, yeah, and Jeremy Grant. Oh, that's a sick starting 5. Am I wrong?
It would help, man. That'd be nice. It'd be exciting to see how that team does.
Between Anthony and Shaedon Sharpe starting at the guard.
Yeah.
Have a stretch 4 maybe.
That'd be
Jeremy
exciting.
Grant's in. I love Jeremy Grant too. Yeah, yeah. If that's a
Jeremy
healthy
Grant's
Portland team, they could make a They can make a dent, but they need to really pick it up defensively, I think. So.
Yep, 100%.
And Klingen does just that.
100%.
All right, moving on. Like I was saying before, San Antonio get their second pick of the draft here to the top 8. This one's from Toronto. I already said their team needs. So we both have them taking a point guard early, right?
Yep.
And so who do they take now? I'll let you say who you want.
I think they're going to take this guy. Could also go higher than this spot.
Yes, he could.
I think they're going to take Matas Buzelis, top high school prospect. Played in the G League for a year. He's a good two-way forward. He can create his own spot or shot, whether it be a pull-up or finishing at the rim. He needs to improve his three a little bit, but I think he's a raw talent. Averages 2 blocks a game. He's a 6'10" forward. He kind of reminds me of a Franz Wagner. But like I said, I could see this guy getting drafted earlier, but I think he might need some time to, work on some things, but I think he's going to be an effective player.
Yeah, I completely agree. I also have them taking Bazulis here out of the G League Ignite. He played. I could also see him possibly going to Portland if Klingen goes earlier.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect. I think he'd be playing right next to Scoot Henderson, his former G League player and Ignite player as well, or a teammate. I think that's a good fit. I'm trying to get down here. Look at your player comparisons. Anyways, yeah, Montez Bazulis.
I like it.
All right, now this is where shit gets interesting. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Who do the Grizz need? Yeah, what do these guys need?
The Memphis Grizzlies need a shooting guard and a center. And I said, we can just put an asterisk next to this last season and forget about it. Grizzlies used an NBA record amount of players that played minutes last year to a team plagued by injuries and suspensions. Best thing to come out of last season was the appearance of G.G. Jackson for this team, who would not have been considered for an important role this year if it were not for the lack of players. Grizzlies need to shoot on the outside to help Ja, and I also expect them to find some size that Jaren Jackson Jr. can transition to a power forward role and have more weight off his shoulders. Not be expected to replace the big Kiwi, who was also out this season, who they traded to the Houston Rockets. So they don't have like a true center right now. Brandon Clark's also been injured all last season, didn't play at all. Jaren Jackson Jr. was okay. He was injured a lot last season, though. G.G. Jackson is actually super fun to watch. He had a massive game against the Warriors out of nowhere. He was a big G League guy for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So who do you think? What do you got?
I don't know. I was just kind of trying to figure out who these guys would, need, kind of looking at prospects on the board. And I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing this out there. I'm going to pick Tidjane Salon, who is another international prospect.
Yeah, Salon, he's from France.
For another Frenchman.
That's a good pick. I like that.
Yeah, he's a 6'10", 6'9", 6'10" forward, can provide some size for that team. I've seen comparisons of him he didn't play too much as of late, so it's kind of one of those where they just gotta, take a gamble. He just had some injuries, I think, over in France, but comparisons have looked like Obi Toppin. And so I think a Obi Toppin type player would be nice for Memphis. And I just am looking at size as well. I think that's who this team would pick.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's a great pick. I think my boy Cody Williams is going to go off the board a little earlier here.
That's who I was also thinking about. I was deciding between that guy and Cody Williams.
Love Cody. He is, as you say, raw. He is the brother of young and upcoming man out of Oklahoma City Thunder, Jalen Williams. They look a lot alike. He's just a taller version of J-Dubs.
Yep.
So they're similar. I don't even think their play is really similar. But if Cody can shoot anything like his brother, they're good. And Cody's they're projected actually around the same time, kind of around the same where J-Dubs got picked too. He got picked 8th overall.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool to see these Williams brother. J-Dubs is in New York with him, with his family, getting picked. So he's got he got a little bit of size as well. So that's why I say he's a good fit for this team, because I just know that they like their size, and I think he'd be perfect next to Shaw. I don't think he would be starting right away, as much as I love him, but I think he only played a year in Colorado. So I think he needs to come off the bench and trying to see some minutes there and kind of figure it out a little bit. But yeah, like you said, 12.3 boards.
12 points.
12 points, 3 boards, 1.5 assists, 41% from 3-point. This guy's killing it.
I could see him as a great 3-and-D guy.
Yeah. I like him there.
I like if Cody Williams goes to the Grizzlies, I like that too. That'd be a great pick for him.
Yeah, I like him. I like him in Memphis.
Yeah.
I just also really don't want him to go to this place called Utah up next, which I could also see him taking.
Well, what does Utah need for this next pick?
I said Utah need a point guard and a center, and actually, I think I know exactly who I have them picking. Analysis: I said Jazz are in a weird spot for being in a semi-rebuild early, similar to some older OKC days. They showed some great promises last year with stud star Lauren Markkinen and new rookie Walker Kessler. Question they need to answer is, where do older players like Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton fit in the future? They just kind of like the Wizards kind of deal, but then they're a better spot than the Wizards for sure. I think they use one of their 3 top 32 picks on a promising point guard to help fill a hole for the future. Maybe some help down low to replace what Kelly Olynyk did for them and free up Laurie. Definitely be on the lookout for Jazz to cook up some trades as well. They've been hot on the line. Like you said, they're kind of part of this big Boston, Houston, OKC deal apparently as well, with pick swapping everywhere that's happening in Phoenix. I don't even know what's happening there. But I have them going with a promising guard out of Duke, and that is, where'd he go? Jared McCain.
Jared McCain.
Yeah. That's who I have them picking. I think he'd be great there. Kind of reminds me of a former Duke player that they chose a while back that is now on the Suns. Do you remember who that guy is?
I'm trying to think who's on the Suns right now.
Grayson Allen.
Oh, fuck. God. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I think Jared McCain is a really good player. He definitely was increasing his draft stock all year. And then once we got into the tournament, I think in the second round, he had 30 points, like 8 threes, 6'3" guard, really good 3-point shot. As I said, he's a score first guard who's efficient at creating his own shot. He can do that off the dribble, get to his spot. He's a high energy defender. I think he's going to be, if he was going to go to this team, he'd be a great presence on the floor, be able to create his own shot, facilitate a little bit. I don't know. I put in this role, he would not be probably this comparison, but I had a kind of a Dante DiVincenzo comparison, or at least the way Dante's been playing as of late with just that high energy. I feel like Jared McCain brings that same thing to the table. Another top prospect coming out of high school, 1 year at Duke, ready to get in the league, might need some time to get ready, but I think he's going to have some success in the league.
Yeah.
And
I
picked another guard out of Pittsburgh. I picked Devin Carter, another true guard. Played, I think it was out of Providence, not Pittsburgh. Yeah. I think he played 2 or 3. I think it was 3 seasons he played for them. Averaged 20 points, 9 boards, 3.5 assists. He improves his 3-point shooting to a 37%. And he was, defensively also really good. 2 steals a game, about a block a game. So he's a great 2-way guard. And he's shown continual improvement in college. And so I think that just kind of shows his work ethic and his determination. I think he's going to keep getting better. I think this would be a spark to bring into Utah. Pro comparison, I think if he can become a solid perimeter defender, which it seems like he already is, I could see him being like a Derek White.
Yeah, I like that. But they need
a guard. I agree. They need a guard.
Also think they need that defensive presence as well.
Yeah.
That's a good, I like that comparison.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Chicago Bulls.
Who do the Bulls need?
So they need point guard, small forward, power forward, center. So they needed a team. Only reason I say this is it's another team that needs to figure out their game plan. Unlike other teams, this team is full of talent, but no clear direction. The recent trade of getting Josh Giddey in exchange for Alex Caruso, what a dumbass trade is what I put in parentheses here. It seems clear that the Bulls do. I mean, I'm not upset with the trade on my end with it, but it seems clear the Bulls do want to go younger for longevity to play alongside breakout season Kobe White. But with Levine, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, Andre Drummond, Bulls need to trade more for these older guys in spots that are in win-now modes because they're good. They're not bad at all, but they just cannot figure out all of them together on the Bulls for some reason to ensure their success for later because it's not working. Not to mention Lonzo Ball and the complete dust of the unknown. Who knows if he's ever going to play basketball again? I just don't know what's happening with him. Bulls only have one pick at 11. Look for them to trade and expand to more picks if they need a little bit of depth at least everywhere they can. So for this, I think the clear option for the Bulls is just to pick somebody that was a high prospect and going to be just a high star. So for me, I'm going to have them choosing Isaiah Collier out of USC. Fight down. Fuck the Trojans. He played next to my boy, DJ Rodman, who I wish also gets drafted, but I don't know if he will. Oh, shout out DJ. Love you, bro. Also, I saw your hair looking like your dad out there now, tying it blonde out there. But I hope you get some love, and I hope you get some at least G League looks or something like that. But anyways, I'm going to go with your boy here, Isaiah Collier out of USC. Like I said, I just think he was like the top prospect last year, and he played one season under USC. It was kind of disappointing because he had another USC guy down there, another prodigy of an NBA legend, LeBron James' son, Bronny James, who all the hype was on him. And Isaiah Collier, there's a lot of hype on Isaiah Collier too. But like, man, it was a tough season for them, and they lost to Wazoo. So I'm going to go with Isaiah Collier here. I think he'd be great along Kobe White. I think they'd be so good together and that's to say that I think he's not going to start the season necessarily either. Mm-hmm. I think he'll just needs like a year of learning and come off the bench, and I think he could easily fit into that role of becoming a star in Chicago.
Yeah, I like that. Isaiah Collier is he's a bigger guard. He's shifty, can get to his spots. He's a good player. So I like that pick. I went with a forward, another G League prodigy, Ron Holland. This guy actually, before his G League season started, was supposed to be one of the top draft picks, if not the top draft pick in the draft. And then in G League play, he had some weaknesses he showed, a little bit too many turnovers, not the best shot, but he still averaged 20, 6 boards, 2.5 steals. I think he can be a great two-way forward for this Bulls team. I kind of see another RJ Barrett in this guy. Same kind of mentality, finishing at the rim. He can get downhill. He just needs to improve his shot. With, I think, the rise of Kobe White, I think he's going to take the one. I hope that Levine can stay healthy, DeRozan do his thing. But I think bringing in Ron Holland, another kind of bigger wing who can affect the game on both sides of the floor, would be a good addition for the Bulls.
Yeah.
And I think same thing with him. He would not start immediately, come off the bench, maybe even swing in the G League. But I think that with the right development, he would be a good addition for that team.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's a good point. Moving on.
Who we got?
To my
12th pick. Yes.
My loyalty. This is gonna be a really tough pick for me, not gonna lie. Oklahoma City Thunder position needs center and power forward. Here's my full analysis for the Thunder. Keep in fact, if you haven't figured it out yet, or if you don't know, I'm a big Thunder fan. So here it goes. Only thing Sam Presti needs in order to be named one of the greatest GMs ever is a chip, and his OKC team is knocking on that door. And to some, this knock came earlier than expected with a surprise finish at the first seed in the West this year and advancing to the divisional round of the playoffs. There's only one thing Sam Presti needs, and that is size. You get the unicorn in Cheddar Chet Holmgren, who had an amazing rookie season, but needs help down low desperately. Whether that be a center to help Chet play more over 4, or a center to help come off the bench like Derek Lively style. This OKC team has been ranked among the lowest in rebounds each of the last 2 seasons, and the size is the most obvious glaring need. But also, Sam Presti has loved his guard so far, also trading for the Caruso and shipping Josh Giddey out. Look for Presti to be very active on the trade lines, but a center is needed no matter what. Presti, get a fucking center.
And who's that center going to be, Matt? Or forward, whoever.
Here's the thing. So for centers available, you have Kyle Filipowski out of Duke, 6'11" center.
Yep.
You got Zach Edey, the 2-time player of the year for the NCAA, which would be nasty. And then you have Khalil Ware. Out of those, I actually like the most is Khalil Ware. I think he's very athletic, and he reminds me, which you actually put as your pro comparison as well, is Daniel Gafford, and that's exactly what I want next to Chet. A board getter, a blocker, an athletic big guy who is also 7 foot. That's who I want. That's why I'm having a tough time here, because all those guys are not super high on this board, and I don't see the Thunder going too far outside of the best players option available.
Right. Yeah.
So with that, I could also see guard-loving Sam Presti choosing Ron Holland here, who I not had going yet, or Saloon out of France, who I've not also had him choose yet, or Jacoby Walter. And I think they don't need this, especially going for Caruso, because now you have Josh Giddey, who was pretty much the backup point guard, down to Caruso, who's going to be a starting guard/forward, but he's going to be a defensive. He's not going to be a true point guard. So I think with that, I think Sam Presti is saying that he wants Casey Wallace to officially merge into that official backup point guard role, or starting point guard role, actually, now that I think about it. You could do either one. But there's just like a lot to figure out there. So I honestly think that he chooses the best guard available here if somehow they can't trade up for Klingon. Yeah, that's not a real answer there. I'm gonna have them choosing Khalil Ware. I don't think that's very fair. I've seen a lot of mock drafts saying they go Nikola Topic.
I saw that. I've seen that too.
Seen a lot of people go there as well, which I actually kind of like. But I really like Khalil Ware, and so I'm going to choose him. I can find him.
Yeah, like you said.
Sorry, I took forever.
No, you're good. Like you said, I think Khalil Ware, his pro comparison is Daniel Gafford. He's an elite, athletic shot blocker down low. He can finish the lob. He's got a little bit of a 3-point shot, so he can extend the floor. And he can finish lobs, and he's great in the pick and roll. So I think he'd be a great addition for that team. That would be the center, that they need, the piece that they need. My pick for the Thunder is more just I think it'd be cool. Probably not going to happen, but I picked Cody Williams. I think it'd just be cool to have him.
I'd be so sick. I'd be so happy
on the team with J-Dubs, but just to, piggyback off what you said, man.
I feel like that's really realistic, though.
That would be sick.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Those two next to each other would be so awesome. And obviously,
I think, like you said, it would take some time for Cody Williams. He'd be on the bench, kind of work his way up.
But I think he'd work his way up faster with his brother there.
Yeah. And I think his defensive ability, too, if he keeps improving it, they're going to want him to be on the floor more.
Yeah.
With the defense they already have on the Thunder in that system. So they'll want to give him more minutes. Pro comparisons, Jaden McDaniels, Jeremy Grant. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I feel like in some games in college, he did a lot with little time on the floor. Like he wasn't a starter, he was a 6-man. And I feel like in some games, maybe he got 15 minutes, but he produced in those 15 minutes. So he's just an really efficient player.
Yeah, I love Cody.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be so cool. I mean, obviously it's super cool. Brothers play together.
Yeah.
current brothers that play, I mean, obviously Sarr's not going to go to the OKC. There's no chance of that happening.
Right.
Also, Olivier Sarr's not that good of a player. But some cool brothers that have been playing together is like the Lopez brothers. I always think about them.
Yep.
You can always think about the Morris twins.
Yep.
They played together for a couple years in Boston, I think. Maybe.
The Wagners.
The Wagners. Oh, yeah, they're together right now in Orlando.
I don't know if the Plumleys ever played together.
The Gasols never played together either.
I don't think they did. No, they did not. No.
So, yeah, lots of great brother duos in the NBA. And this will be one to watch for sure, no matter where Cody Williams goes. But it'd be sick if he started out his career on the same team as his brother, because J-Dubs is definitely part of the future of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I agree.
All right. Sacramento Kings. You were saying Malik Monk got a bag.
Malik Monk got a bag, 4-year extension.
Yeah. So what I said for them is they need a forward really badly. So Kings just missed the playoffs, but not completing the play-in win. By not completing the playoff win. They had 6th man of the year candidate Malik Monk balling for a good stretch, and then all-star snub Domantas Sabonis, who led the league in rebounds and was very close to averaging triple-double. He did get snubbed from the All-Star, but he was an All-NBA, I think, 3rd team or 2nd team. So he deserved it very much so. Like I said, led the league in rebounds and like a couple assists away from a triple-double average. And so between Sabonis, Fox, and Monk, the Kings need to build around these three, and I see them taking forward here, whether it be small or power, to help out both ends of the floor. I think De'Aaron Fox is a great point guard, defensive point guard. I think obviously you have Sabonis down low, has also been a great defender. So I have the Kings taking who did I have them taking? Ron Holland.
Yep.
Ron Holland. I think it would be a perfect.
I think he'd be a great forward for that.
Yeah, I think he'd be a perfect forward with him. I think he would be impactful right away. So
yeah, no, that's a good pick. Who I picked for Sacramento, kind of not necessarily a forward. Well, he's a forward. He's 6'5", and that's Jacoby Walter. He is a great off-ball guard. Not necessarily the primary ball handler, but he's constantly moving, looking for a shot. Great 3-point shooter, 34%. Really good on defense as well. Has the potential to be a 3-and-D guy. If he can improve his defense a little bit as well, I could see him being a comparison of a KCP. But I think that having another off-ball guard in that system, be able to be a catch-and-shoot guy, be able to play defense, play alongside, whether it be Fox, whether it be Monk. Those are kind of the primary ball handlers. I think that him to be able to be a catch and shoot guy with that defensive ability as well would be a really good be a really good fit.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah.
I thought the Kings have always been weird. I've been on tip of my tongue the last like 2 or 3 seasons. Because even the season before, they got all the way up to like the 4th or 5th seed, and they're just like they're there, but there's something missing.
Right.
So I'm not sure if they get that missing piece here necessarily in this draft. But they at least get something to help them out, depth wise. I mean, at the minimum, it's just like they're not all there. They're not top scoring. They're not top defense, but they're like right on the fringe of those. So
they just need a couple more pieces, man.
Yeah, they do. Completely agree. All right. Next up, we have the Portland Trailblazers again. And last time, we both had them taking Klingon. Who do you think they go for now? I said they need a small forward as well.
I think they're going to take...
or forward position-ish.
Yeah.
I said.
I think they should take Tristan Da Silva.
Da Silva? Oh, I like that.
That guy had a very great career at Colorado, averaging 16 points, 5 boards, and a block. Shot almost 40% from 3. He has potential to be a 3-level scorer. He's able to move off the ball, finish at the rim through contact. He can get to his spot, knock down his own shots. He needs to limit his turnovers a little bit with his ball handling, but that's something that can be fixed. But I think he's a very strong player to be able to go into that system. It's a younger system. I think he'd be able to get a lot of playing time, a lot of experience with that team. And I could see him improving quickly. And so I think that he would be a good option for that team. And I think that his comparison with that 3-level scoring ability could be, and with that size, could be compared to Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the guy you said earlier, and I think he slides a little bit, is Salon, the other French guy.
Oh, yeah, Degen.
And, like you said, a little Obi Toppin comparison there.
Yeah.
I like him there. Size, like I said, defense. I need that defensive presence, and I think this guy is a perfect option there for him. So,
yeah, no, I think that'd be a great for him too. Great fit.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to Miami. We're about halfway through now.
Let's go.
We're 55 minutes in, so we're gonna put the Jets on. Let's get this going.
Let's keep going.
We've got the best people out of the way.
Yep, let's keep going.
So Miami Heat, I said they need a forward. I said after making it to the finals, the Heat were injury plagued all year between Hero and Butler, and eventually trading for Rozier and dumping off Kyle Lowry. This team is headed in the right direction. See them adding some similar to the Kings in the forward help out Bam Adebayo and Jimmy B. As long as Hero, Rozier, and Jamie are healthy, the backcourt should be fine. Maybe a depth piece given injury history as well would not hurt. So with that, who are you taking?
I'm going to take with this one. I don't know if he's going to, fall to this spot, but I would take Jared McCain, not a bigger guard, but just being able to be a true guard. At least have a younger guard in that system, especially with how Tyler Hero's season or career has been a little bit plagued by injuries here and there. And like we talked about with McCain, he's a great shooter. High energy defender, high energy player. I could see him excelling in that Miami system. If he could get more discipline too, which is part of that Miami Heat culture, I think he'd be an elite defender for that team.
Yeah, I'm going to take Nikola Topic out of Serbia. I can't remember who's the guy they drafted last year. That was
Jovic. Nikola Jovic.
So now they're going to go Nikola Topic here is what I think. I think it'll be like kind of just like you just said about McCain here. I think Topic would actually be a pretty good point guard to back up Hero here and give him some help. And then Nikola coming off the bench would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I have that.
I like that pick.
All right. Next up. Who's next? Philadelphia.
The Sixers.
This will be interesting because lately there's been buzz about Paul George, whether or not they're staying with the Clippers. Now, I'll talk about more about Paul George and the Clippers when their pick comes up, but Sixers need a point guard and a power forward. And I said, after coming off this MVP season, JoJo seemed to be the favorite early before missing a stretch of games that cost him the eligibility of awards. Tyrese Maxey becomes a strong MIP candidate as well to help this team. I think the Sixers need to get some more guard help because Tobias Harris isn't the answer, even though he was the highest paid player on the team last year. Also, some help to Joel Embiid down low would be a good option as well. Who do you think you got here?
I'm going to go with the guy that you just mentioned, Nikola Topic. I think he would be a great addition on this team. He's a very strong ball handler. He's a very good playmaker. He averaged 7 assists in his last season, wherever the hell he played. He's a bigger ball handler who can create and finish. I think he'd be great in that system alongside, Maxey. Learn a lot from him, be able to play alongside Embiid. He kind of reminds me of like a bigger Goran Dragic, just with that playmaking ability and then being able to find his own shot when needed. I think he'd be a good fit in Philly. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Devin Carter, a guy you chose earlier.
20-point scorer. I'm excited to see what Devin Carter can do.
Yeah, I like Devin Carter here. I think this team just needs a little bit more direction. I don't like a lot when the center / power forward are running the floor. And I think that puts so much room on JoJo. And I think teams take advantage of that is why they're not making it down the stretch. JoJo's a great player, but he should not be controlling the floor. And same with Tyrese Maxey. I think he's great. He's but not quite the point guard either. He's not a very good shooter, but they just can't create separation. So I like Devin Carter here. He's going to help create separation quite a bit on this floor. I think he can help them a lot.
I like that pick.
Yeah. All right. Los Angeles Lakers.
What we got next? Lakers.
This is interesting. Like we said, JJ Redick just got hired, so his input will probably be heavily admired here from Palinka. So I said Lakers get 17th pick again this year. Last year they used their 17th pick on a rookie that came before rookies Jaime Jaquez and Brandon Podjemski. Lakers are still in a win now mode with short time remaining with King James and AD duo. They need some better perimeter shooting in order to add some more offense to their size heavy team, or they add a center to help out AD be more free. I see the Lakers in need to trade for a veteran in order to contend this year if new coach JJ Redick wants to keep his friend LeBron and AD together. I really don't even know if they use this pick. I think they use this pick to trade, if anywhere. If they trade for anywhere, I think it was going to be the Hawks to either get DeJounte or to get a Trae Young. I think it would be amazing. D'Angelo Russell's not your answer there. I'm sorry. He had some flashes of greatness, but he's super inconsistent. He's just very streaky, and you need better perimeter shooting. You can't just have AD shooting threes the entire time.
Yep.
It's like LeBron's can shoot when he can shoot, but so you're looking for somebody that's not obviously going to be a real point guard for them, because obviously LeBron James is going to be a point guard. But who do you got?
You were talking about team needs. You were talking about perimeter shooting, bigger forwards who can just help out, offensively and defensively. I'm taking Miami's Keyshawn George, 6'7" forward. Didn't have the, biggest numbers at Miami, but he did shoot 40% from three. I think he's one of the best shooters in this draft class. And another effective thing about him is his size helps with his playmaking ability. Being able to use his size on smaller guards, finish at the rim through contact. He kind of reminds me of a Cam Johnson. And I think if he can translate that onto the defensive end as well, I think that that could be a key perimeter player for the Lakers if they decide to use that pick, which you never know. So if they do take a pick, I could see it being Keyshawn George out of Miami.
It's a good pick. I do think they still go size as well. I see that either going with Tyler Smith or, like you said, Tristan da Silva. I could also see Johnny Murphy here from Kansas. So I'm going to go with Tristan da Silva.
I think he'd be nice in LA.
He has a big ass ego that I hate because I've seen him for too long play Pullman. So I think just easy person to hate. I hate the Lakers, so I'm gonna put him there.
Being able to play alongside LeBron, man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, besides Tobias' aside, Tristan Silva will be pretty good.
Yes.
And he's a shooter too, so he could easily be a great pass option for LeBron. As I see LeBron more in this era of his, is he's really, really trying to get the ball movement more than him actually taking the ball himself, which I appreciate. I see him only taking the ball more in times of clutchness like needed down the stretch.
Yeah.
So I think Tristan Silva is a great option for a little pass out shoot if they need it.
I like it. All right. What's the who's got the next pick?
Next up, we have the Orlando Magic. I said they need a guard and a center, and I said Magic lead themselves to the first round against the Cavs in the playoffs this year. There's a glaring need that held them back from going further. Magic were last in the league last year in 3-pointers, and their offense was below average. They did not meet the average NBA points per game. Magic need a playmaker and a shooter alongside Jalen Suggs to be able to move the ball around and score at the same time. Look at them taking a guard or trading for a young talent elsewhere. They're a good team. They're really good defensively, but their just scoring is just not there. And I really think they need a good guard here. So what do you think?
I have him going big and getting Evis Missy. I don't even know where this guy is from, but he averaged 11, 5 boards and 1.5 blocks. He's a 7-footer with a 7'5" wingspan. He had a 38.5 inch vertical, which I think was tied for the highest vertical out of any of the prospects in the combine. And because he's athletic, he's able to get up and down the floor, and he can be an elite rim protector. He's limited offensively, so I could see him being kind of like a Clint Capella. But I think being able to have that size down low to help out Paulo, who's usually playing the 4, would be effective. I could also see the Magic taking a guard. I just feel like they have a lot of young talent with at the guard position, and so I think if they do take a guard, they need to maybe utilize their draft picks or something, or maybe try to get one of those guards out of there, because I feel like they're piling up on young guards.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree, but I'm also going to have him taking a guard, and that's going to be Jacoby Walter. Like I said, they really need scoring. I don't think they need to care about much other right now. They don't have like a real true center besides Wagner. Yeah, I just think they need some scoring.
Yeah,
they need to pass around the ball. Jacoby Walter is perfect out of Baylor. He's a catch and shoot guy.
Yep.
I'm giving him Walter. All right, next up, Toronto Raptors.
What does Toronto need?
They need to cut Scotty's contract in half. Is what I think. But also they need a point guard, a shooting guard, and a center. And I said Toronto's in a whole new place after making lots of trades at the deadline, acquiring RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly, and trading away their franchise player Pascal and OG as well. They have inked Scotty Barnes to a long-term contract, making bank now. They look to the draft to add some help around Scotty with a need at the backcourt, and maybe some help down low for Canadian Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk is now on the team. I think I know who I want them to choose here.
Who we got? Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking Kyle Filipowski.
Yep.
Center out of Duke, which means the big Duke draft here. He's, like I said, they don't. I love Kelly Olynyk, but he's getting up there in age. I'm glad that he's home in Toronto, but I don't think they have very many other options at center right now. And I feel like young Kyle Filipowski would be good for them.
Yeah, I think they have Poeltl, but that guy gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And so I actually am going to go with you and pick Filipowski. Be a great 7-footer down low to play alongside Scotty Barnes. He can also stretch the floor, whether it be a catch and shoot or a pick and pop option. He's shooting 35% from 3, and he can also facilitate a little bit. Being able to, he's able to post up and out of the post find guys open. Kind of reminds me of a Lauri Markkanen. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be a great fit in Toronto to play alongside Scotty Barnes, who can also extend out to the 3, and then hopefully get things going with Quickly and RJ Barrett in that backcourt.
Yeah, I think they got a young team. They obviously have a future. They got Rajakovic still.
Complete clap.
All right, moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I said position need is a forward. This is interesting because they just got their new head coach. I say Cleveland season came to an end in the playoffs after an impressive addition of Max Strus to help out their shooting. We had a really good season, but they fell short. Firing the head coach and hiring Warriors assistant as their new head coach. This Cavs team could have a whole new look possibly, though. But assuming this team stays as is with the big man duo down low in Mobley and Jarrett Allen, and they also have Spida and Garland. They need to get some depth pieces at the board to be versatile on both ends of the floor. There is what I said. What do you think?
I think they are going to take Cam Christie. He's a bigger wing. He's a 6'6" wing who shot 39% from the 3. And I think just being able to have that in that system will really help. They don't, like we were talking about, they don't really need any help down low. They got a lot of guys down there. You have the Spida Garland combo. I think just with having Garland and Spida, you need guys who can be able to catch and shoot out on the perimeter when these guys are driving and kicking. As his comparison, I actually said Max Strus, which would be kind of funny if they ended up on the same team and were performing the same role. But I like Cam Christie here. I think he could help them with their perimeter shooting, just being that knockdown shooter for him and being a bigger guard.
I'm going to go Deron Holmes II out of Dayton. He's a power forward, but not like a very big power forward. He's let's say 6'9", 6'10" almost. 6'9", 235. Not very tall, but pretty big guy. Like I said, I think they just kind of need help in that middle of the area. They have Spida and Garland, who are honestly both point guards, it feels like.
Yep.
Garland obviously had some major games when he was just a point guard without Spida there.
Yep.
And then you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley down low. Jared Allen also might be a free agent. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong. But I don't think he's inked up long term either. But why I said that earlier in the things, because I don't think they're for sure know if any of them are going to stay. There's talks about lots of stuff happening for them going on. So I think Deron Holmes is a safe bet here more than anything. I think it's a good pick for them.
Yeah, Deron Holmes is a hooper.
Yeah. All right, next up.
Who we got next?
What does it say on there? It says the New Orleans via the Milwaukee Bucks. I said they need a point guard and a center. And I said after getting swept by the Thunder, Pelicans need answers. Zion falls short of expectations and health yet once again. Shocker. CJ does not seem to be able to run a point but can shoot in the clutch, and Ingram is not using his size to his advantage. Pels need to add someone next to Herb Jones and CJ to help run this floor better. The assists need to go up. I think my analysis comes mostly off of what I saw from them in the first round, because I obviously watched every single game, and they got swept by my team. So what I think they did really poorly was moving the ball around. And so because of that, I think they are going to go with somebody like a Carl Carrington out of Pittsburgh.
That's the guy that's out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Carlton Carrington. Yeah. Fuck, I got those shit mixed up. Yeah, a lot of questions with the Pels. We saw what Zion could do. He was, at times inconsistent. There's been a lot of talk about BI. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to stay? Is he getting traded? Love CJ McCollum, but he's getting old. He's getting up there, and he's he faces a lot of injuries. So they need someone that can help them out with kind of a fresh start. I agree with you. I think they need someone who can spread the ball around, be able to kind of be a floor general. And I think that's going to be a guard from Cal, Jalen Tyson, who had a very good season over at Cal. He's a 6'6" guard, so he's a bigger guard. And I think the thing that's notable about him is he's able to play at his own pace, whether that be in the pick and roll or just kind of facilitating the offense. He's able to explode and finish at the rim through contact. He's a very high IQ player who also shoots 36% from three. I kind of see him being actually like a CJ McCollum. And I think he could be, he only averaged 3.5 assists in college, but I think with his playmaking ability, he'll be able to find more opportunities. Like I said, he's a high IQ player to facilitate and move that ball around for that Pelicans offense. I also think that'd be a really cool young backcourt of him and Jordan Hawkins, who's going to be going into his second year from UConn, also a bucket. So I think that'd be a cool backcourt. I think Jalen Tyson would help them out.
I like it. Denny, I left this completely open for you. Given the news we heard earlier from Woj, that apparently, like Matt Ishba said, that he still wants to run it back with this team this year and see what can happen. But the idea of Kevin Durant not being in Phoenix next year is very, very possible. Not this coming year, but the next season afterwards. With that, I'm going to let you say your team needs and give me analysis on the Suns here.
So I'm just going to really quickly just try to get through all of it. Just so everyone, at the exit interview, for those who don't know, James Jones, who's the GM, former NBA player, actually said a constant focus for us is to continue how to figure out and maximize Kevin Durant. No one has done it yet. I believe we'll be the first team to do it. I'm not even going to get into that, but that statement is apt. So you're telling... All right.
Absolute crap.
Yeah. I'm not even going to, I don't even need to say anything. And then Ishbia came out and said of the other 29 GMs, 26 of them will trade their whole team for our whole team, draft picks and everything. The house is not on fire. We are in a great position. It's not a hard fix.
He did say that.
And then he also has the balls to say that the whole starting lineup is coming back, and that's not the fucking problem. And then we look at the Bradley Beal no trade clause, so he's staying, and they have no first rounders until 2031 right now. And so, I mean, if this is true that, HBS says the whole starting five is coming back, I think they just need some depth. I would maybe even just trade this pick and just try to get some depth, because obviously you guys are in a win now mode. You're not going to use whoever you draft. You're not going to put him on the floor. Don't ruin his career like that. Just trade the fucking pick. But if I had to pick someone to have to go over there, fuck.
I got my pick if you want me to go.
All right,
first.
let's hear your pick. Sorry, that was my quick rant, but yeah, let's hear your pick.
Yvonne Messi. Yeah, that's Messi.
Yes.
If you ever listen to our podcast actively, you could hear me sounding off on that man down low in Phoenix. What's his name again?
Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurk really struggled this year, and so I think Missy is a great guy to go in there to actually try a little bit better than what he did. So I think Missy is a good addition here. And I think if you're looking for depth, I think that's perfect. If you're looking to replace Bradley Beal or something like that, then I would go somewhere else. But Missy is my pick here.
Yeah, I agree with you. If they were able to do something, I think they need depth with the big man. Like we said, Nurk, we've been talking about it all year. Nurk gets in foul trouble early, throws turnovers. He's losing time out there. And then you got Eubanks, who actually plays good minutes for me, but it's Eubanks. So I'm also going with the big. I doubt this guy's going to fall this far, but I kind of forgot about him. He easily could. I
took him early because I wanted him on my team.
Yeah, but Kyle Lair, we talked about him. 7-footer, athletic 7-footer, elite presence around the rim, shot blocker, lob finisher. I think he'd be good to have on the Suns. But just to wrap up that little quick rant, that's how ownership and management feels about the Suns. So they're fucked.
Yeah,
they're fucked.
No, that's fair. I want to believe. Obviously, I believe in D-Book. I obviously believe in KD. I just really want to see Bradley Beal go back to what he was in Washington.
Yes, please.
And it's tough because injuries.
It's hard.
It's tough to ask for.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bradley Beal's the reason why you guys necessarily lost either. I think you guys are really missing some defensive presence over there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so I think
we don't
having a big guy that can actually block and
would be
good down low.
Be a nice,
great.
It'd be a very nice addition.
Speaking about big guys and blocking, let's move over to the Milwaukee Bucks. I said they need a guard and a center.
Guard, yep.
And a center possibly. Bucks had a wild season, firing their coach early in the year. Despite success, turned to Doc Rivers and lost in the second round of the playoffs. First season with Dame Dollar, but Giannis was not healthy for the playoffs. Dame Dollar also got injured in the playoffs. What this team needs is more than defense and athleticism on the ball. They're the second oldest team or third oldest team, and Giannis turns 30 this summer before starting the season. Dame can shoot the 3-point well, but as long as Boston has Drew and White, they need to find a way to replace what they had in Drew Holiday with a perimeter defender. Or they add some help down low for a better bench option to come in Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. With an older team and Dame trade, look for the Bucks to make more trades for veteran help. They're old. They're looking like an absolute fucking fool now with Drew Holiday winning a championship with Boston Celtics and it being a very key point, not just like being on the team, but being a very key reason to why they won as well. He was literally led this team in scoring at least one of the games and was top 3 in scoring almost every other game. They're looking like a fool, although they're really, like I said, they're really good 3-point shooting, but they've also really bad at defending the 3. Really bad at defending the 3. And you obviously have Middleton over there too. He's old. So you'll have 3 or 4 players over 30, which is kind of crazy, I think. So what do you think?
I think that it's a guy you had mentioned earlier. I think he'd be a nice addition for this team is Dayron Holmes II from Dayton. This guy is a very athletic forward, averaged 20 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 2.5 blocks, shooting 38% from 3. His athleticism allows him to be a force in the paint. He can extend his game beyond the arc. He's also able to guard multiple positions with his size, and he's also a shot blocker with a good vertical. So he's able to, match up against taller guys. He kind of reminds me of a Nas Reed comparison. I think having this guy coming off the bench to be able to help with that team down low. They have a couple of younger pieces in the backcourt with Marjan and Ty Washington that they're trying to figure out. But like you said, they need a little bit of depth in the front court. Guys are getting old. I think Dayron Holmes will be a good addition for him.
I like that. I'm going to go with Ryan Dunn out of Virginia. Small forward, 6'6", 213, so he's got a little bit of weight on him. I don't know a whole lot about Ryan Dunn. I'm not sure if you have a thing on him.
Athletic forward. He can hit the pick and pop while also finishing at the rim through contact. He kind of actually reminds me of another Laurie if he can improve his playmaking a little bit. But he's another athletic forward who can guard multiple positions because of his athleticism and defensive ability.
Yeah, that's exactly why I chose him.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about him, but I remember watching him in Virginia. Yeah, I like Ryan Dunn here.
That's a good. Yeah, I like that pick.
My guy, Tony, had to coach him, so it must be good things.
Yep.
All right,
All right,
next.
who we got next?
We got back-to-back picks from New York. So I'm going to say their team needs real quick.
All right.
And then you can take the 2 best guys off the board for them because they're also, despite getting a massive haul from Mikal Bridges, they only need one thing. I have them actually. So all it says they need is a center. So Knicks made a very surprising run in the playoffs before falling short. Knicks season can be defined as everyone stepping up in general. A huge part of this was a Zane Hartenstein, who's said to be a free agent and most likely will be signing elsewhere. And especially after the Mikal Bridges trade, I don't think he's for sure signing back with the Knicks, even though he might like the team. I see the Knicks be adding some depth down low with the center, hoping for a healthy Julius Randle. With the news, we literally found out right before recording this podcast, as we told, they still have these 2 picks, and I easily see them also trading one of these picks again. But for now, we're not doing any trades in this mock draft. So, who do you got? What are they going to get?
I agree with you that they're going to need some help down low.
Who's the highest Villanova player?
yeah, seriously. Who's on Nova? Actually, that's who they're taking.
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, for real. With Hartenstein probably on his way out. Losing Bogdanovich, who was another taller player. Mitchell Robinson, this guy is hurt almost every year for the full season. They need a big guy down low. And I think the person at the top of the leaderboard is Zach Edey.
Dun, dun, dun.
We all know about Zach Edey, elite rim protector, 7-footer, can grab the boards. The only thing is that his offensive game is very limited. He only has a couple moves that he can use, and once those are exploited, it's a little difficult for him to finish at the rim. We've seen him get doubled, tripled, and it works. But still a proficient center. And I think in that offense, where there's a lot of guys driving and kicking, a lot of opportunities for second chance points, I think Zach Edey would be in a good spot there.
I completely agree. And I think this is the best fit for Edey possible, actually.
Yep.
Which is weird to think. The fact that he's a 2-time National Player of the Year, and I think the New York Knicks don't even need him. But I think it's like the most perfect fit because obviously I think it'll be a huge thing for Edey to have to he's going to have to take a step back because the fact that he was literally just all over the court when he was there in whatchamacallit? What was the team? Purdue.
Yep.
So he's definitely when you have Jalen Brunson running the floor and stuff like that, it'll be interesting to see where Zach Edey does with them. But he provides that size that's needed. So he's honestly kind of gets a more relaxing role, just kind of sit down low and do his thing.
Yeah,
He needs.
I agree.
I think Zach Edey needs to step it up a little bit.
Yep.
Because when there was double coverage, or when Zach Edey was like his biggest weakness in the tournament was when he was guarded at the elbows or at the free throw line early. He always put a pop shot up and missed. So he needs to work on his game, his mid range game a lot. But also he's going to be helping create a lot of separation for the rest of that team, because people are going to have to double team him if he if he gets the ball. It's just true.
Yep.
All right, who you got next for New York?
I think their next pick is going to be a forward out of Illinois. I think it's going to be Terrence Shannon Jr., who just beat the allegations, baby. Let's go. Anyways, very, very effective slashing wing at Illinois. He averaged 23 with a block and a steal. So he was a two-way player. He's most effective being able to score in transition, and he can hit spot-up opportunities as well. He's not too much of a playmaker, but, you know, in that system, he wouldn't need to be. I think if he ran the floor in transition, you know, moved off ball, the facilitators would find him, and I think he would actually excel in that offense. It kind of reminds me of a Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I'm going to take Marquette point guard Tyler Kolek, because I think it's just at this point, if they do keep this pick, it's just the best on the board and what's for them. And I look at the New York Knicks and how they did not go to their bench hardly at all during the playoffs. They only had like a 6-7 man rotation the entire time. So I think getting a point guard to take some relief off Brunson would be great. And I think Tyler Kolek would be a great part of that. Marquette has some really good defensive presence there. Really like this Marquette team. Tyler Kolek was a huge part of that, if not the part of it. So I do think that Tyler Kolek is a good fit here.
I like that pick.
All right, we're getting close. Now we're
almost there, listeners. We appreciate y'all for tapping in, man.
Yeah,
we're excited. We're loving this shit. We hope you guys do as well. So yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. All right, we got another Washington Wizards pick from the LA Clippers via Dallas via Oklahoma City. Crazy weird how Washington got this.
For real.
So who did Washington? We both had Washington taking either Sarr or Rosashir.
Yep. So this is where I'm going to plug in Tyler Kolek. You know, with that backcourt, they could use some help. And like you were saying with Tyler Kolek, this guy's a 4-year man out of Marquette. He got consistently better every year. Led the NCAA in assists per game this past season with almost 8 a game, 1.5 steals, shot 39 from 3, 85 from the free throw line. He has the potential to be an elite floor general with a really high IQ and an elite 3-point shot, as I mentioned. He's also he's a hustler. That guy is diving for every loose ball. Just a high energy player. Kind of reminds me, after watching these playoffs, like a TJ McConnell. Just a smaller spark plug who's an elite floor general. I think he would excel in that system, but I'm a fan of Tyler Kolek, so I'm excited to see wherever he goes and how he does. He's a good player.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with Johnny Furphy out of Kansas, shooting guard, 6'8", 189 pounds. I like him here specifically. Kind of either hurts from the bottom of my heart, but kind of take over Corey Kispert's role, or back Corey Kispert up / just be the supporter there and be a good shooter. I love Corey. I think he might be better somewhere else, but I think this is where Washington uses their depth here.
Is Corey on his way out really quick?
I don't know. He's still young. Played basketball against Corey a long time ago near Hoop Fest, but my Zaga guy.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Love Corey, but this Washington team's a shit show, and he hasn't shown anything that he can do.
Yeah,
as much besides being kind of a shooter, which sucks. But like I said, it could just be a system error, because obviously this Washington Wizards team sucks really bad.
Right.
But yeah, I think the guy out of Kansas here would be good for them as a little shooter.
Yep.
Furphy.
All right, who we got next? We got the Wolves.
T-Wolves. I got a good team needs analysis.
What do the Wolves need?
The Minnesota Timberwolves. Where'd they go? Here they are. All right, the Timberwolves made the jump just like the Thunder, to a top spot in the West and going to the WCF. There's no question of the talent and defensive presence on this team being the number one defensive team overall and having Rudy Gobert win his fourth depoy. But in order for them to really take the leap as a true contender to win it all, they're going to need some help on the offensive side. Boston was both a top 5 defense and offensive team. It was clear to win the chip. T-Wolves need to add some pieces that can help their perimeter shooting and also help out the young stud Ant and moving the ball around to help create separation and not play from behind. Like, time and time again in the Western Conference Finals, we saw Ant just getting double teamed and getting crowded, and he wants the ball in his hands. The man wants the ball in his hands at all times, and he's a really good ball handler. But teams figured out late down the stretch that pressuring him would create a lot of misses and create this team not moving the ball around. So what I think is they need somebody to help move this ball around, whether that be in a guard or a forward position. But they do not need to get a big shooter here. And you picked the guy I was going to pick, actually. So go ahead, go and say
Baylor Shireman from Creighton. I think he fits this role that you were just talking about perfectly. 18.5 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, shot 38 from 3 and 87 from the line. He's a 6'7" forward, and his shot making ability and his ability to create in space are impressive. It's another playmaker, like you said, another guy who has a high IQ, and he can help swing the ball around, rotate the ball around, find the open man. I'm impressed with this guy. I think this would actually be a perfect system for him now. Looking at this, I could see him being like a Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, moving on to the Denver Nuggets. Correct?
Yep. Who the Nugs need?
This is what I said. The Nuggets. I said they need a guard and a point guard. I said the reigning champs fell short to the T-Wolves, but it was a close one. I could still have one of the best starting lineups in the league. If they need to add anything, it's just more bench depth for the perimeter shooter. If they can do to add next to Christian Braun. So that's what I said for them. They're good. It's just obviously they I don't know. I think the season just took a leap this year in offense.
Yep.
Shooting especially. So I think even crazy what one season can do, because obviously they're the reigning champs from the year before. And then this year everybody became a better shooter. So I think they just need to add a better shooter here. That's all I think.
I agree.
And so I think that's, for me, is going to be Keyshawn George.
Yep. As I'd mentioned, one of the best shooters coming out of the draft class. I think he's going to be a really good 3-and-D guy. If he can, add the off-ball movement element to his game, I think he's going to be a knockdown shooter for that team. I also picked a guard. I picked Isaiah Collier, partially because I forgot about him on my when I was looking at my list. But like we were talking about earlier,
he could go this late. He's not in my opinion, Collier's not a ready to play now kind of guy in the NBA, so he's not going to be started.
Yeah,
so it should be perfect in Denver.
Yep. As I mentioned, he's a shifty guard, score first guard, but he's got playmaking ability from his strength and his size. He just lacks an off-ball presence, which I think, is not his fault. He had to have the ball in his hands at USC. He had no help. So I think if he add that to his game, he's going to be a good talent. Comparison, I could see him being like a Tyreek Evans throwback right there.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right. The Utah Jazz are back on the board. What do you see happening here, buddy?
We both got guards for our first pick.
Yep, we did.
For him.
And they still kind of might need more guards.
They could have another guard.
There's so many guards left in this draft class. But next best options are all guards.
I'm going to go with Carlton Carrington, who I believe you had already picked from the Pels at 21. I'm going to pick him here in this situation. I like Carlton Carrington. I think he's a very good facilitator. Averaged 4 assists. He's a 6'5" guard. He's really good off the pick and roll and in transition. He just struggles with finishing at the rim, but he's a good spot up shooter. I think if he can improve his finishing, I could see him being DeJounte-esque. And I think that this is just some depth that they could really use and just kind of, work their way up. But I think Carlton Carrington's going to be a good player in the league.
I'm going to go with a random pick here kind of deal. just because I saw him on the board and I kind of want to pick him. I don't know him very well or anything about him, but I'm going to go Bobby Klintman out of Sweden. And I kind of did that just because I know Laurie is Finnish. So I think that'd be fun. He's a small forward. He is 6'9". I don't know much else about him, but I feel like a small forward, and he's up there in terms of he's ranked 32 overall on CBS's list here.
Yeah, I think the cool thing, he played in the NBL, I believe.
Yeah.
He's a very good 3-point shooter, and he moves like a wing, even though he's, I think he's 6'10", 6'11". So he's able to stretch the floor, and he's a good facilitator. So I actually kind of like that pick. He kind of reminds me of like a Kyle Kuzma. I think he's very young, so he has a lot of he's got a long road to go. He's going to need to develop a lot, but I could see him being good in this league.
Yeah. I like that pick. All right, Boston.
Who's Boston need?
This is what I said for Boston, first of all. They don't need anybody, is what I say, basically. I said position needs is young depth. The champs, they do not need much at all. They are in such a good position, but if I am them, I add some young depth. We're down low to help out with Al Horford, who's going to his 18th season, and Kristaps, who is always injured, it seems. Other than that, this team is easily the favorites for next year. Already no signs of slowing down. So, yeah, I think they do go big. Not a lot of big prospects here on the board that pop off my eye. So I'm going to kind of reach deep in the bag here. And I might either go to Jonathan Mogbo out of San Fran. That's kind of deep in my bag. Yeah, I'm going to go Jonathan Mogbo.
I like that.
Yep, I'm going with it.
They need a bigger forward, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. Or some guys to come in for Drew and Derek White, possibly. But they have Sam Hauser, and they just need depth, just young depth, in my opinion. Peyton Pritchard, I'm not the biggest fan of, but they could do something there.
Yeah, I like that. Well, who I'm going to pick for the last pick in this draft, I'm going to kind of go like you and just pick a random one.
Go deep in the bag.
This guy, deep in my bag. This guy is he's a great center. Averages 15. He averaged 15 and 7 with a block. He's a very versatile forward. And he's got a 7'3" wingspan. He plays through with power and physicality. He can score the ball on many different points on the floor. He's a good shooter from about 10 feet out. And that guy is Isaac Jones.
Oh, Isaac, we love you. Congratulations on getting married, by the way. You're awesome. And you've had the busiest season, the busiest time since you left. We try to get you on this show, but we get life hits, man. We appreciate any time you had with us. Anyways, love Isaac Jones. Go Cougs.
Go fucking Cougs.
My favorite thing about Isaac Jones, especially watching him so closely as a Cougs fan, is the fact of how patient he is down low. He's not trying to force the ball to the rim right away.
Yep.
He's letting the defense make the mistakes, not himself.
Yep.
He is so careful with the ball, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And I think that honestly, it'd be great in Boston. I would love it if he went to Boston. Me and Cy Lou were actually just talking about this today. Is if I would get his Isaac Jones jersey, and I'd said if I would never get a jersey from the Lakers, never forget a jersey from the Warriors, never get a jersey from the Jazz. Boston, I would do. I already have a Boston Celtics hoodie, so fuck it. If Isaac Jones goes to Boston, I will buy it. Clock it in here. He will definitely not go as high as 30, but I like it. All right. Real quick, I want to recap some teams that did not have first overall picks.
Yep.
First round picks, and those are teams like the Dallas Mavericks. I say they need a guard and a forward, and I said after missing the playoffs last year in a mediocre regular season, this year, the Dallas Mavericks shock the West and go to the finals, but fall short of the Boston champs. Dallas is in a good spot for next year, but need to make a plan in order to make up for their mistakes and holes in the finals, which include defensive positions in the backcourt to make up for Luka's lack of, and some forwards to help out with moving the ball around. Don't forget they need free throw shooting badly, but that should come along with any prospect that comes. Dallas only has one pick this year. Look for them to get help in free agent market mostly because they don't have a lot to trade. But I still could see them. I don't see them making a blockbuster trade like they did at the deadline. Gafford and PJ were great for them. PJ didn't really show up in the finals for us, sadly, but that we don't measure his whole performance off that one mark. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they do, but they do have some second round picks. Clippers. They need a point guard and a center. This is another really interesting team. After trading for James Harden and having a massive win streak, they were the favorites early after January to win it all. But post All-Star break, the Clippers look to be in shambles. After losing to the Mavericks in the first round, the Clippers now have Paul George going as a free agent, and the future is now unknown of where they stand. Rumors of a reunion with Chris Paul to run the point alongside Russell Westbrook. Clippers only with one pick at the draft. What they do all comes down to Paul George's decision, really. So,
Yep.
What they do? No idea.
A lot of questions. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Another, obviously, just a healthy Kawhi is a huge thing.
Yep.
Like I said, this is literally right before the trade happened. This is all my notes. It says for the Brooklyn Nets, I said position needs anything and everything, and I said trade Mikal Bridges. That's it. No picks, no future. Figure it out. They did that.
Now they got to figure it out.
They did that. They did the damn thing. I think that is Pacers as well did not have a first round pick.
Yep.
Pacers do not have a first, but had 3 seconds after trading for Pascal Siakam that helped them get to the Eastern Conference Finals. This team was in good position to make a run again if healthy. Maybe see them adding some depth at point guard to back up Hallie Nembhard, also a centerpiece to help out Cerner as well. They were one of the best, if not the best offensive team this year. Really good shooting. Defensive presence needs a little bit of help. Also, they just weren't that healthy come down the stretch. So I think that'd be huge. Like you said, Pascal is intended to be signing a bag here pretty soon.
Yep.
There's that. And then I also got the Golden State Warriors. Kind of a weird wild card as well. Also really pending on a free agent kind of deal. Position needs center and a forward. Warriors fell short of the playoffs off of a weird season where Steph still works his ass off, and he had some young talents to work with along with bros Clay and Draymond still. What the Warriors do depends on what happens with Clay as he is a free agent. If he remains there, then all they need to do is go straight for the front court help. All they have is one pick this year and then the second round late. He'll be looking into the free agent market and on the trade lines in order to make a jump in the West. I don't know what they do here. Draymond kind of just got himself suspended too many times. Clay was struggling for a while, but still, Clay struggling on the Warriors is just not what he was doing before. But he's still, like, his struggling was still like top 3-point shooting for a lot of other teams in this league. Right. So he could, a lot of talks for Clay as well. The Magic could take him in free agency or something like that. But yeah, I don't know what they do with that information.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, is there any prospects that we did not go over that you want to look at for day 2 that might be interesting?
Well, I know we both have one other guy we want to mention.
Yes.
I'll let you do the honors.
The man, myth, legend, Jalen Wells, out of Washington State University. He's 6'8", small forward. Honestly, plays more of a shooting guard. He has some of the most clutch shots I've ever seen. The best shot ever in my life as a Wazoo fan came against that Arizona team where we took him down in the zoo. I still remember. We were here for that. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
My God, what a shot. Yeah. Really good shooter. He's really young. He's number 54 in the prospects. He could easily go late round. Yeah, I don't know where he goes. If he goes 54, that's Boston. So anywhere from, I think teams later that would be good for him would be teams like Golden State would be good. Boston would be bad to develop in. And then Memphis also would be actually a really good spot to develop in as well, I feel like. And then Dallas has the very last pick, the draft at 58. So I love to see Jalen Wells be able to go. Huge guy to look out for is Bronny James as well. I don't know what that means with Bronny James. He's been working out. He's been working out with teams as well, so he's getting his money. I don't know what happens there. I don't. That's all I got for him.
Yeah.
Braun said he's not going to go anywhere. I doubt Braun's going to go anywhere, especially with JJ now becoming his new head coach. I'd look for the Lakers to be choosing him. I really hope JJ Redick has the balls to just tell LeBron no, and not let him influence his decisions here. But we don't know for sure. Some other really good prospects I think coming off day 2 would be great is Tristan Newton, part of that UConn team. He's really good point guard who can stretch out, kind of like he played really good minutes with Castle. He's part of that huge deal. Jamal Sheed is he's a hooper, big scorer.
He's a hooper.
So I really like him.
He had a great career at Houston.
Yeah.
I think another guard we got to talk about is KJ Simpson.
Yep.
From Boulder. We saw what he was able to do in both the Pac-12 and the regular tournament. He's a great scoring guard. He's a microwave. He can get hot. I think another player is out of Marquette, Oso Ighodaro. And I think his versatility is going to be his biggest asset in the league. He's able to guard multiple positions. He's able to facilitate, create his own shot, rebound, play defense effectively. Kind of reminds me like a Sabonis, being able to affect the game in multiple ways on both sides of the floor. I'm excited to see him come out of there. Antonio Reeves, another senior guard from Kentucky. It's promising.
Day 2 will be interesting. I think
it will. Keyshawn Johnson from Arizona.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's another good player. AJ Johnson from Australia.
Aussie player, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Newton pick. I think you picked Mogbo in one of your picks. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Curious to see how McCullers Jr. does. He was a 4-year at Kansas. But we got a good draft class, so it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that's a wrap on our season as a whole. I think that's
wrap up on season 1.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for everybody who's listened, especially this episode's super long.
Yeah. We really do appreciate all your support. I mean, we made it through 21 episodes and we've really enjoyed it.
True fans out here.
Yeah. We'll definitely be back before the season begins. We'll have to recap free agency. We'll recap the draft, talk some preseason hoops. But, for now, we're going to take a little time off. Like we said, get better, keep learning, and come back for year 2 of Bankshot Degens, baby.
What I need from you as the fans, I need feedback. What do you want to hear more for season 2? What did you like? What did you didn't like? We're going to try to make a lot of changes to help better this podcast, no matter what this off season. So all that matters is the people listening out there. So let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. We got some big plans that we're hoping to do, but please reach out to us on every single social media that you can. Twitter, TikTok. No, not TikTok. I don't have TikTok really going, but Instagram.
We'll get there.
Email bankshotdegens@gmail.com as well. If you just go to our Instagram profile and click the link tree in there, everything's on there. We're going to try to get the YouTube going as well. Please reach out to us. We really appreciate everything.
Appreciate you all. Have a good summer, and we'll be back for year 2.
Peace.
Peace.